Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. What a great video I got. A little bit nerves. I'm in front of Tallahassee prison, a prison that I was in multiple times since it's a holdover for men. Before I get started, please check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Patreon. Okay, I was in this holdover facility. This is a facility that it's a holdover for men, but there's 800, I think over 800 women. Some famous women prisoners were in this prison. As a matter of fact, great story, I used to hear from the guards all the time. And you go to these facilities enough, they get to know you and they know you're a stand-up guy. So what would happen is the plane, the Bureau of Prison plane would come and it would go to Jacksonville, Florida. It would drop us off on Jacksonville, Florida, and we'd have to take a van and we'd all come right here. And it might be 2 vans full. And it could be, 15 people, 8, 10 in a van, sometimes it's 12 in a van. And it might be 20 people coming from that plane coming to Tallahassee. Now, might be women coming to the prison. There are people who are going in various places. Whether you're going to Jessup, whether you're going to Coleman, Florida. Those are the places. They have drop-offs and they have different ways they do things. It's amazing how they actually run things. So what I did was been in this facility so many times. As a matter of fact, one of the crazy stories is that the guards used to be, they work in the holdover. Now the holdover's for men, obviously. They got a little yard out in the back. When I say a little yard, it's not the size of an infield of a baseball field. The infield of a baseball field is what the actual yard is. And you're lucky if you got out there an hour a day, maybe an hour a day. Now, it had like a big pod. The whole area was like almost a county jail setup. You had cells, individual cells, not individual, 2 to a cell. And then, had a day area. And you actually, in this facility, you ate right here on the facility. You didn't go to a chow hall because this is a holdover facility. So what would happen is they would take us, you'd be stuck in this place. Now, again, once you're stuck in these places, you have no mail, you got no property. What do you do? What are you going to eat? Well, you can't even get stamps. What the BOP did back then was what they would do is sometimes they would give you 2 or 3 stamps. And you had to be here for a week before you even got 1 stamp. So you'd actually have to ask the counselor, hey, can I get a stamp? You know what I mean? Because I want to write my family, let them know where I'm at. And obviously, they didn't like that. I mean, because they're giving you a stamp. But, you'd hound them enough. And I used to write a letter from here. Again, how do you write a letter from here? You don't have a pen. They give you a little pencil, look like a golf course pencil. So you'd have to scribble on a piece of paper and hopefully get an envelope or something and say, hey, listen, I'm at Tallahassee. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. That's a big problem. You don't know how long you're going to be here when you go to these places. And nobody tells you. It's not like, hey, Lawton, you're going to be here for, 3 weeks, a month, get settled, do this, that. They don't tell you, nor do they give a fuck. So in this facility, I remember talking to a guard, and he told me, he goes, man, you guys are pretty good. He goes, you men are pretty crazy. He goes, but you want to talk about the women? I used to hear it from the guards in Atlanta who used to go down, who used to handle the women in the holdovers or wherever they're at in the camp as well. But in other facilities, so in this facility, the guard was telling us how women actually made dildos. I know that sounds weird, but they would take actually pads, women's sanitary pads, fold them over, bend them. They'd take masking tape, put the masking tape like this, and make it like a round cylinder. And then they would take an ace bandage, like a medical ace bandage, and tape that to it for a strap to strap on their bodies and have sex with another woman. It's a strap-on dildo, if you want to call it what it is. And that's what they, he said, listen to me, Larry. I remember the guard talking to me. He said, hey, listen to me, man. These women are crazy. He goes, we find shanks, and we find hooch, and we find drugs, and we find all this stuff. He goes, they're sometimes more violent than you guys because we don't know how to handle them. A male guard is doing certain things. I heard stories, and I don't know them to be true, about guards doing things to the women and stuff like that. But I can tell you this, myself, you know what happened to me. So as far as understanding how abuse goes in prison, there's not many more people who know about abuse like I do in prison. And sadly, it happens to women, it happens to men, it happens to everybody. And that's just the way it is, you know? I mean, what can I say? This facility goes all the way around. And I showed you a little piece of it by showing you the back end of it. It's a big facility. You know, when you got 890, or I'm sure they're near their capacity at probably 1,000. What I did here, and I don't know if this is true, but I tried to look it up and stuff. My brother David was here many times as well. And we were just talking about this prison on the way down in the RV. And he said, "Hey lad, did you know there's a WITSEC there?" I thought, "Nah, I really didn't know. I know the WITSEC in Otisville." Now, a WITSEC is a witness protection program for snitches, for major people who can't be, you know, in any general population. It would be Derek Chauvin. He'll go to what they call a WITSEC, and that's a protective custody unit, or we used to call them witness protection. We used to call them cheese factories, rat factories. You know, these are the people who can't, I always say they can't handle it on the yard because they did whatever they did. Now, listen, I used to be a really mad, and I had a very bad temper towards people who were rats and stuff like that. I don't like rats. I'll be straight up, tell you that right now. But I don't want to kill them like I used to. I don't want to fuck them up. I could care less. They got to live with themselves. You know, I did all my time in prison. And I did my time looking into a stainless steel piece of glass, stainless steel piece of metal as a mirror. And they took everything from me. And I'm not complaining again. You guys know I don't complain about what happened because I was guilty. But I don't like that they can just do what they want and come out and people say, "Oh, hey man, hey, how's everything going, guys? You know what the fuck?" How could you trust a guy who turned in his friends? How can you trust a person whose word means absolutely nothing? I couldn't. And that will stick with me forever. And I'm not going to change that about me. Now, do I, again, my biggest thing is that they got to live with themselves. You know, I know that when I went to prison, and I went to prison, guys, you know this, and I had a 15-month-old daughter and a just turned 7-year-old son. I went to prison December 2nd. He turned 7 years old on November 30th, my son. And you know, I had a lot to lose. But it wasn't about that. It was about me and my word. And when I got out of prison, my word is good. And it still is good. I believe that in all my heart. If the one thing they can't take away from me, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, this place, none of these people in there, none of the administrations, and we all know about the administrations. We know about the Lamanas. We know about the scumbags. We know about the people who just don't give a fuck because they think they're better than everybody else until they fuck up. You know, things are going on in this country that just drive me nuts, and you know that, everybody. Whether it's policing, and I could get on a whole fucking rant about policing right now, and again, with what's going on in Minnesota. And I'm gonna yell and scream at the top of my lungs, because unless they get guys like me to start helping these police departments in the right way, they can't fucking develop the programs to help the community because they're not fucking in the communities. You know, some cops want to say, "Oh, well, we'll do it, but we'll get input." No, how about we do it and we get your fucking input? You guys are fucking taxpayers. Everybody out there's a taxpayers, and the cops gotta know that and work for fucking you. Get me on a fucking rant about that. But getting back to this prison, I know they're watching me already. I went around the back with my brother, and we had to turn around because there's a guard station. And we know we can't get in there, and obviously there's a sign there. And you know, listen, who knows with today's world what they're gonna do? And I'm telling you, things are getting crazy, everybody. And I just think it's nuts what's going on. And I think about this Tallahassee facility. This is just another prison I was at. And, you know, as a man who spent all those years in prison, and I was in Atlanta and Jessup and Coleman and Yazoo and Forest City, Arkansas, not counting Lewisburg and all the holdovers, and Atlanta holdover, and this Tallahassee holdover. How many county jails? How many holdovers, which were actual prisons, which is Farrington, New Jersey, or Schuylkill, Pennsylvania? I was in so many fucking prisons. It's ingrained in me, but you'd think they would ask for my help on how to fix it. But what that shows everybody, and I hope you guys are realizing this, that the fucking system doesn't want to be fixed. They don't want my help, and they don't want people's help. That's the fucking biggest problem. They really don't, you know, and that drives me a little bit crazy, because all it would take is for the right people to want change. I don't know when change is coming, man. I see the revolution. I see the change. I see what we need. We need reform in so many ways. And everybody knows out there, I'm not one that says defund the police. In fact, we need to give them more and hire better police with better training, because these people are fucking scared. They don't know how to handle people. They get a fucking badge on their fucking thing, a gun on their fucking hip, and all of a sudden they got the fucking right to fucking take your liberty and your life under the color of law. You can't do it, and I can't do it, which is bullshit. And I'm off track because I'm thinking about Tallahassee, and I'm thinking about people. Right now, in that facility right there, I'm doing this video a little bit closer to nighttime, and it's 7:55 p.m. They already had 4 p.m. count. Every prison in the Bureau of Prisons does it, even in the holdovers, everywhere. So they had 4 p.m. count. Now they probably went to the yard, and at 8 o'clock, they're going to have either recall, or it could be 8:30, depending on the facility. Now, I did look up a couple other things. They could spend money here. When I was in, you could only spend $275 a month. I just looked on the BOP Tallahassee site here, and it says that they could spend $360 a month. I guess that's just, times change, and, you know, probably, you know, what they did is they'll still sell a fucking transistor radio, and they'll charge them fucking $100 for that transistor radio. They're just gonna try to make money any way they can on the backs of the families that are people in. You know, it's not so much, you know, they're hurting the person who did the crime. They're also hurting the family, the people that love them. Now, let me go back to the victim-wise. I still feel for victims. But if we don't rehabilitate some of these people, they're gonna get out and they're gonna commit another crime. That's why I'm very positive and very pro-Nordic prisons, and Sweden and Norway and Germany, not the United States. And it kind of pisses me off. And you know, I was hoping with a new president we'd see change. I haven't fucking heard from anybody. You'd think they'd fucking contact me, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you think they'd contact somebody who's got a voice, who understands, who's an honorary fucking police officer, and a person that fucking wants to change the system? It's all bullshit. They don't want to change the system. It's all about money. Now, you know, I know that's getting cynical, and I hate to be a cynical guy. You guys know that. I don't like that at all. I like to be a positive. I always think of the glass half full, not half empty. That's just what I am, and that's who I am, and I hope to be that way for the rest of my life. I just want people to understand what is going on. I want people to understand what these places are about. They're fucking places that we need to reinvent how we do incarceration in this country. Tallahassee is a holdover that's nothing but a fucking stopover and a place to fucking house people. They don't do rehabilitation in these places. You know, when I was looking at the website and I'm looking at what they offer, it fucking made me sick when I read Unicor. Unicor is the biggest fucking crime there is. And that's putting fucking regular people like you out there who are working hard, own a business. They're putting you out of business because they're using guys like me. Well, I didn't do it, but they're using people in here as fucking goddamn slave wages. Exactly what they're doing. Now, obviously, you can see somebody out there, and they're probably looking at me saying, what's this guy doing? You know, he's videoing, but I am on a public sidewalk. right in front of the prison. I'm sure if they come out here, I'll tell them to go fuck themselves in a nice way. But you know, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting tired, guys. I'm getting sick. I'm getting, you know, I'm trying to open eyes, and sadly, it's hard to open people's eyes when they don't want them open, and that makes me hurt a little bit. You know, it really does. And I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I got goosebumps. I get goosebumps when I go to these prisons, and I go to these fucking prisons. I get goosebumps. And you know, matter of fact, it just reminded me. In this prison, I was watching some young kids do tattoos. Now, in this prison, they didn't have the equipment we can get in a regular prison. So they had smuggled shit. They did the Indian ink shit, which is when you take a sewing needle and you can wrap like thread around the top of the sewing needle. They call it pick and poke. They call it pick and poke. And I watched some guys actually could do pretty good stuff in that. And actually the Indians invented that, or indigenous people invented that pick and poke. And that shit's pretty freaking good, actually. But in this place, you know, I watched the kid, he fucked it all up, obviously, and I did myself on some of them. So, you know, I can't complain or look at them and say, oh, what an idiot he was, because I was an idiot, guys. I did all this stupid shit as a young guy, and I wasn't even young at that time. But I was in this prison all the way, many times. I was here probably when I was about 35 years old, and in and out of this place probably 5, 10 times maybe 7 times, 10 times in and out of this place, because I was transferred so much because the prison didn't like me. They wanted to keep transferring me to try to shut me up. Obviously, you guys know me on this YouTube channel. I'm not shy, and it's because I get such great comments from you guys. All you guys on this channel give me the energy to keep doing what I do, and I want that to never stop. I want you guys to keep commenting. I want you guys to pass these videos on. I want you guys to stay proactive and try to make a difference in somebody's lives. 1, so they don't go to these places. 2, maybe we can get some of you young people who are going to college and going into the law and going to do stuff to help people who are incarcerated. We need that. I get the emails. I know I get them, guys. And I try to look at as many as I can, but when you get hundreds and hundreds of emails, I just can't actually look at every email. You all know that. But I want you guys to know that I do read them. I do hear you. I do feel for you. My heart bleeds for a lot of people out there because I know what you're going through, and I know what your families are going through. And it's a shame that we have to fucking keep doing this in 2021. Obviously, we have some issues going on in this country with policing. And again, until police start realizing, you know what? They need help from guys like me, from influencers, from guys who were on the other end of the law, so who could tell you how it feels. You can't have a cop develop the program and say, oh, I want some input from Larry. What the fuck does that cop know? How about I develop the program and get your input? I think that would be better. But, you know, I still support good cops, because we do need law enforcement, but we need good law enforcement. We don't need what we got. We don't need untrained. We need to pay them more money. I know people are going to say, what do you mean pay the cop? Pay them more money, because listen to me. We got people who are untrained, uneducated. They fucking give them $40,000 or $50,000 a year. How the fuck can they fucking you know, support a family? Before you know it, they're fucking stealing themselves. They don't give a fuck. And that's what you got. Sadly, they'll say, oh no, I come in it I just wanted to do it because it's a passion of mine. Well, if it's just a passion of mine, why don't you volunteer and go get a real job and volunteer at night? Do that. But they don't do that. Now they're not leaving that, as you can see, everybody. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm expecting somebody to come up to me, which usually happens. But you know what? I'm in enough property that I don't care what they're going to say. And I won't even answer them, because why should I answer them? I'm in the public domain. You got the prison. What do you think? I'm supposed to fucking bow to you and fucking get on your fucking knees to you people? Go fuck yourself. I'm not. And that's just the way it's going to be. And, I see a couple of cops just went by. I don't know if that's going to be up. They're pulling over on the right. But they're down the road. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what what they're gonna do. They're watching me very closely, but that is what it is. All right, everybody, I'm gonna get going. I want you guys to stay proactive. I want you guys to really be careful out there, man. I'm careful. A lot of love, a lot of respect. I couldn't do this without all you guys, and I mean that. Have a great day. Stay safe, man. Make one good choice a day. Please, I always try to end my videos on a positive note. I believe in young people more than any guy my age, because I think you guys have more brains than we do. We just need our experience, the older people's experience. And hopefully I'm going to be on the road more, meeting a lot of you guys out there. We're going to be setting up some schedules and stuff like that. So have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. Getting a little hot. There's another 3 cop cars. I think it is. Yep, there they go. Okie dokie. I have a feeling it's time for me to get out of here. Stay safe, everybody. Much love. Let me get out of here.